Welcome back to the Verduzco family. No. Welcome back to the Verduzco family podcast. Today we have Anthony Ponce here, and we love him. He's our friend. He's the one who shot our proposal video and our wedding video in our backyard. And we wanted to bring him on just to ask a little bit about what he does, what he loves, and who he is. So, Anthony, who are you and what do you love to do?
Oh man, that's a deep question.
Yeah, first of all, welcome to our podcast.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I love this. I love the whole setup and everything. I love that y'all are actually doing this and inviting people on.
Oh yes, of course. Sorry
really
for
cool.
our dogs. We
Oh, I love her.
apologize.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
So, who is Anthony?
A lot of things. An entrepreneur, own my business, videographer. I love my family. I don't have any little ones of my own. Current girlfriend. I'm a dog lover. That's probably why she likes me, is because I have 4 dogs.
Oh yeah, I feel like dogs can sense a
Yeah.
person's personality and.
I'm surprised she didn't freak out on the smell of my dog. She was just like, she was more like afraid of my presence, and then even just warmed up to me.
Quickly warmed up
Yeah.
to you.
Other than that, just taking day by day, trying to reach the top, but always redefining what the top is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
it's different for all of us.
It evolves. It could be one thing, then it can turn into another, and as you age, your values become different. And what you think you wanted when you were 25 and what you thought the top at 25 was is different when you're 35, which I'm coming up on.
So, what did you want when you were in your mid or early 20s? What was Anthony back then, and what was he like pursuing, or what did he enjoy or value?
Honestly, they say that men have 2 lives. One when they're born and one when they realize they're going to die. And I feel like I didn't realize I was going to die until like 25. So young 20s, I just lived my life doing whatever I thought was best in that moment. There was a lot of time where I would look back and I'm like, what was I even thinking? A lot of it is a haze, and it took me a while to get my future plans in order. So when I was younger, it was just chase whatever was fun, pretty much. I was really into working out at the time in my 20s. I was a personal trainer. I've worked in a nutrition shop, mostly sales my whole life. So it was nothing. I had no real goal until one day I woke up listening to self-help stuff like Tony Robbins, and Tom Bilyeu is one of the guys I never shut up about. But when I started to realize, like, okay, I got a plan for my future. Okay, I'm gonna die. Okay, I can't just get by at these odd jobs. And then entrepreneurship was like, well, I hated taking orders from people. I didn't like being told what to do. That's one of the main reasons why I didn't like any of my jobs, is because I was being told what to do versus me going out there and doing it. Which also, when you pursue that, you have to learn accountability. Because there's nobody holding you accountable, you have to hold yourself accountable. And there's a lot of discovery that comes with that. But entrepreneurship was the route that I chose because of those things. Entrepreneurship was basically the thing that opened my eyes, and like, this is where I am now, running the business and
Was that in
trying
your
not to die.
mid or late 20s or your early 30s?
A couple of years ago, early 30s. Yeah. And believe it or not, I'm going to be 35 in June, which you just turned 35.
Yeah. So,
Wish him a happy birthday in the comments.
yeah. Speaking of birthdays, my beautiful wife here has a birthday in 2 days.
Yes.
So everybody, write down in the comment section, type in the comment section, happy birthday
Yeah.
to Sierra.
We're about to celebrate it right after this, hopefully with some sushi.
Yes, we're going to go have some sushi and have a good time.
Yeah.
Fun
But
time.
no, it's interesting that you mentioned the number 25. Like, that was our speaker. Because Jordan Peterson says from 15 to 25, a man is very full of like fun. He doesn't think of consequences. But right at 25, that's whenever he starts to like settle down and like become a different person.
Mature.
Mature, yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was
What you would hope would happen at 20 or 18 or something like that. It takes forever for us.
Yeah, because we still got some 40-year-old kids out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's not the same for
It's
every
scary.
man.
No.
Yeah.
And it's true that women mature faster as well.
so?
Yeah, I think so. Most women mature faster.
yeah.
You mean you kind of have to biologically.
I turned 29 Monday.
29?
29.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I told Josh this is the
baby.
last
Yeah, you're
of my
still so
20s.
young.
I'm so sad.
I know. Last year, live it up.
Yeah.
Make it worth it.
Yeah.
You're never getting it back.
I know.
No. And I think that's what hit me last night, actually. I had this wave of emotion, and Sierra felt it, saw it, where I was just like, I'm don't have much left to live in terms of the grand scheme of things. You know, I'm 35. I mean, tack on 30 more years, that's already 65.
Yeah.
And so then you break it down even more little chunks. You know, I guess it just had the sense of like, wow, I really need to be careful about always thinking, future forward thinking, and, you know, take moments to where it's just like, wow, I'm really here. I really have a beautiful wife. I really have a beautiful daughter and a beautiful dog. And we're doing this and enjoy and really just soak that in. So I guess that's also kind of where you're thinking in terms of where you started to think more of your future.
Yeah, I think this is kind of like a typical conversation that 30-year-olds have, like over, you know, drinks or dinner or something like that. We think we're young until we're not, until we realize we're not. And it's like this year and these last 2 years, I realized like I'm not getting any younger, which goes back to like the value change or the value of make it. When I started being an entrepreneur and thinking like, oh, I'm going to make all this money, right? The goal usually for an entrepreneur is to become rich or wealthier. But like a lot of the times it's like, I just want to be able to like support my family, my immediate family, and then maybe some of my extended family. But one thing that hit me hard was like, no matter how rich I get, a bright, shiny, young 18-year-old can come up and be like, I'm starting a business now. And I'm like, you have more riches than me. You have more time. The time is the most valuable thing. And it makes you question like, well, why are we chasing this money?
Yeah.
Like, obviously it gives us freedom. It gives us, and that's what I want at the end of the day. I pursue entrepreneurship for the freedom of time and choice to do what I want, whenever I want. That's the goal. It's not really to buy a bunch of things. Those things are fun, right? And that's the thing that's led people into consumerism is the big, bright, shiny objects.
Yeah.
But what I want is freedom to do what I want, whenever I want. Like, that's the goal. And, with, like you said, the limited amount of time that I have left, realizing that if I do hit the goal of freedom of autonomy whenever, like without a schedule, I only have this much to use it. Whereas like, man, I wish I had this much to use it and I did it at a sooner age.
And you can't buy that.
And you can't buy that. No matter how rich you are, you can have $200 billion and an 18-year-old is going to be richer than you.
So your entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
why did you choose like photography, videography?
Honestly, I kind of like fell into it. I like video because I liked playing video games and I was like, I'm going to get good at video games. And this was during COVID and I got a camera. Then I got a better lens. Then I was like using that lens to do like video stuff. And then I started offering video. And then that's when I saw Josh posting stuff about photography and videography. And then I started asking him questions. And I was like, hey, man, what?
Did y'all know each other at that point?
We did.
Okay,
yeah,
y'all knew each
we
other.
did.
Tell us a little bit more about, before you reached out to me, what was going through your mind? What were you kind of trying to plan for? Was it any type of social media content production? Was it trying to start a business? Like, where were you at prior to reach out to me?
In my head, I had this grand idea that I was going to make. There was two things that hit me around those couple years, right before I met, when I met you and the year before I met you, maybe a year or two before that. One of them was a lawn mowing business on an app. Had a dream about it where I was talking to Mark Cuban and I wanted to be a crazy entrepreneur, and I wrote it down and that was what I was going to pursue, and then it just didn't happen. I would listen to a lot of podcasts and a lot of people would talk about overcoming obstacles, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, why is Ovrcome not a brand? And when I looked it up, it was like, obviously you can't use the word overcome the way it's spelled because it's going to be used everywhere. So I cut out the first E, Ovrcome, right? And just OVR. And there was only one company that was a VR company that would help with, I don't know, it's like therapy through VR. So you put on a VR headset and you get therapy, and they called it Ovrcome. The VR is the virtual reality headset. Okay. So I looked at it, I was like, okay, that's whatever. And then I was like, I want to make a brand. I really want to make a clothing brand. And I think that it could be a bigger version or a more broader version of Gymshark, because Gymshark is for all the athletes that want to be posing. It's just like, when you put this shirt on, just realize you can overcome everything that you're going through. If people have done it before, then you can do it too. Okay. And that was the whole goal. And then I was like, well, I want to start a podcast. And that's where we came up with the idea of a podcast. So it was kind of morphed from like learning video to offering video to making a podcast to wanting a clothing company to letting go of the clothing company and then having to get a real fucking job because I can't be a fucking dinosaur all day. And the reference is to Step Brother, sorry. So I had to get a real job, and then it was just like, well, why don't we turn what we know into an actual service, which is the video, high quality video, high quality pictures. And then my goal was when we were working together, and then right towards the end, I was like, I want Ovrcome to be a company for clothing and stuff, but I was like, I want it to be massive. Like I want to see that my logo like on a fucking building. Excuse my language, but I wanted to see it like on a building. And I had this big old, like drive. And then we had a separation, and then I was like, I'm gonna make a big, and then a whole bunch of complicated life stuff happened. And then just calmed down a little bit. I realized that my ideas might be a little bit too grand, too fast. I think it's like there's a delusion threshold, right? Like you have to be delusional enough to be able to break that and actually succeed. But if you're just under that delusional threshold, you'll never really get there. So you have to find ways to be comfortable in your life to where you're not going to die or starve. And then you have that room for delusion, depending on how much you want to sacrifice. I get this from Kanye West's documentary. The dude was massively delusional. But he had it. He had it.
So you're still doing video and photography also, or is it more just video?
So it morphed from like being videographer based and then doing videos and gigs here and there. And this is one of like my spiels is like I realized that I was making these videos and then saying, here's your video that you paid for, and then watch them almost do nothing with it.
Yes.
And that was one of the things that really bugged me. I was like, I'm doing like they're paying me for high quality video service, but like what's their goal? And then that's around the time where like Alex Hormozy, one of these business moguls, started to come into play, and he's like, you got to create offers and you got to advertise and all these things. And I'm like, okay, so then technically I'm in the advertising space, so why don't I learn more about that? And then I just kind of like faked it until I made it. I learned a little bit and then would charge more. I learned a little bit and then I would charge more. Then I learned a little bit and then I would charge more, or ask for more, or offer more. So right now I'm at a base where like I'm molding my company and from just a videographer service to a full-fledged like advertising service. But going up the rungs, there are advertising services that do everything for you. So like let's say an advertising company came up to like the bank that you worked for, right? They would provide a commercial, but they would also provide advertising for you, but they would also provide billboards. They would provide shirts, t-shirts, little flyers, cups, everything that is in the realm of advertising. Yeah, I'm on the bottom rung where I'm offering video services and Meta Facebook advertising.
Wait, so okay, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Okay, because Coast Life did this one time, and I was like, I thought that was really neat. And at some point, I would love for Josh and I to get there, but I don't even know how they went about doing it. But inside a Cinemark or Century 16 movie theater, like one of the commercials will play. Before the movie.
Oh, before like a local.
Or like, who do we contact for that type of stuff? I like that.
That's the thing that I like. That's my next rung is getting in touch with the legacy, what they called legacy media. So like you would go to Channel 3 News here in Corpus Christi. You would go to the local movie theaters. So you would go to the local places that show the bigger forms of like mass versus what I do is I try to target a niche. Like if you're selling an ebook about fitness to people in Corpus Christi, right? I would be like, okay, I can run your Meta ads easily. We target these people, we do that, we do this, we run these full-fledged campaigns, and then we can even advertise a little bit on Google.
Got it.
But the next step in my company, which I'm still a one-man band, I'm gonna need a team here pretty soon to where I can take that next step to be able to offer more services. And I never claim to offer more than I can do. But there's always people at different levels, and you meet them where you're at and charge them for that.
Who's your avatar? Is it small businesses? Is it personal branding? Is it a major company in locally? Like, who do you
have an audience?
I don't really have a specific avatar yet, and that's one of the issues that I've been running into. Is I'm kind of just running into business owners. So I would say small businesses right now. I want to work with some dealerships because it's pretty easy to run some ads for vehicles. And if they have a good enough ad, if they have a strong enough personality behind the camera, that can turn into sales. But it's a little bit of everything right now. I would like to take on bigger clients, just to kind of like prove my worth and also help them, get from, normal to a little bit of a more professional look. But I don't have a designated avatar as of yet. I'm just trying to my goal is how can I help you make more money? Like that's the goal. Like I have a video, I can do video. I know how to script the videos. I can edit the videos. I can run your ads. I can do the copy. I can do all the stuff that you don't want to do to make you more money while you go out and make money your way. I'll do it my way. You just hire me to do it. Like that's the whole goal at the end of the day. But I should niche soon. I just don't know which route I really want to go. I'm kind of just molding and taking it as I'm going. I know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, which is like a full-fledged advertising agency. I just have to feel what I'm good at first.
So let's run a thought experiment. Say I'm a small business owner and say I run a nutrition shop.
Okay.
So why on earth, when I have a phone and I could just do little videos and I could show my little teas and whatnot, why on earth would I even consider about contacting Ovrcome Media?
When it comes to any kind of content, I would say all content is good. If you do have a phone, cool, do the phone. But when you need structure, when you're sitting there finding you can't come up with 10 video ideas, and then you don't have time to film every single day, or it gets repetitive, or you're just, a lot of the time it's just me giving you your time back.
Gotcha.
So let's say I come in one time for your nutrition shop and we just set aside 3 hours and we shoot 10, 20, 30 pieces of content to where I come up with the scripts or we come up with together. I find best that when I work with my clients, it's better for me to be a collaborative event versus me coming this is what you say. I can do that, and that's going to, cost a little bit more for those people. But it's better when it's collaborative because the person needs to be involved with what they're selling, because at the end of the day, all I'm helping you do is sell things better. And so you would come to me and I would script stuff out for you. I'd help collaborate scripts. Then we would film. I would provide high quality service so you look more professional and presentable online versus just a phone. You can get away with the phone, and we can even utilize the phone to have more of a natural feel of engagement. Then from there, that's when it goes into advertising. And I will be the first one to tell you that if you don't know the in and outs of Meta Business Suite, you've got a lot to learn. It is the most complicated, crazy thing ever. In my experience, there are so many pages and different boxes and different ways that you can go to try to run an ad that no wonder they leave. For more normal business owners, they leave that button on the bottom that says boost now. You just push a button, select a couple settings and hit boost. That's good for the normal business owner. But if you want to run a full-fledged campaign where you have multiple videos going on at once, reaching multiple demographics to get multiple avatars in your door, that's where you would come to me. And then I use the creative and your creative, and we blast it out there. All right, now my goal is to learn Meta as much as possible, right? Really deep dive, because people use Google, but it's my opinion that Google is gonna fade away pretty soon. Not soon as in the next couple months, but within the next few years, because Google's a good aggregate of searching stuff.
Sure.
But when you need an answer, it's 10 times better to go to AI. A lot of people are afraid of AI. They know about AI. It's waving up. There's a small percentage of people that even are aware that AI exists and can help them in their business. And right now I'm doubling down on how can I leverage Facebook and then AI integration systems to be able to make all this stuff automated, not only to make it easy on my business, but my customer's business. And how can we integrate that into their system or their daily life or their daily business life that'll make it even easier for them? It's we're just at the tip of what AI can do. It is crazy.
Do you have any packages or prices on stuff currently, or
I
for
do.
Video services?
I do. I get that question a lot, and that's one of the
we did too for photography.
Yeah, and you get the questions a lot, but you can have a set price, but a lot of the times the devil's in the details. You have to know what these people want. You have to train your client hey, what are your prices? Well, it depends on what you need, because I'm not going to give you a $5,000 package when you need an $800 package.
Exactly.
And it's really the benefit of being in sales my whole life is I learned to sell morally, to not be like, oh, this guy's gonna be dumb and give me $1,200. Like, let me take
For
it.
this
It's like,
2-hour event.
bro, it's $40. Let me teach you how to do it with your phone.
Exactly.
Here you go.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's been holding me back on like pricing packages. But what I'm learning now is like through advertising and stuff, it's better just to get on a consultation call, find out what the client needs, and then give them a price. Like, oh, based off of what you told me, here's your prescription.
Okay.
There.
So you like doing consultations?
Yes, I love consultations because
Yeah,
I need to know what
that's
the
best.
person needs before I actually give them something.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how contractors are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't give you a price. They don't even have prices.
Yeah, it's like
they need to know what type of job it's going to be.
Yeah.
Where they're going. Is it very far? Is it local?
And that's one of the things too about like videography or like advertising, mainly with videography though. It's like, it's a service, right? You don't expect a plumber to come in and like, hey, I need plumbing services. How much are you? Oh, it's $300 for a leak. Okay. And then you come in, it's like, well, can you also fix the shower head while I'm here?
Broken and all
Yeah.
that
And also, can you fix that knob? It's like, well, that's not part of the gig.
That's true.
And we just need to know exactly what you need in order to provide the service.
You don't want to let anyone down.
Exactly.
So, yeah, makes sense.
So another thought experiment. I love these.
Let's do it.
So say a traditional business, such as a jewelry store.
Okay.
And let's think here locally in Corpus Christi. You go to La Palmera Mall, and there's like 5 different jewelry stores.
There are a lot.
Right?
Yeah.
And my question to you is, why would a jewelry store ever need or desire your business, Ovrcome Media, and helping them facilitate when everybody knows what jewelry is? People are going to go to it when they need to get married. Why would do you feel someone would benefit from your services to leverage, attention, social media, when it's already a long-standing business that it's already going to get customers?
My main thought when it comes to that, why do people buy billboards anymore? Why do lawyers buy billboards? Every lawyer has a slogan. Every lawyer does the same thing. They fight for you in court, yet you drive down the highway and there's billboards everywhere. It's all about touch points. The customer will usually need 5 to 7 points of contact and like reference in their head of your brand before they decide to make a decision on buying.
I believe that. So
Yeah.
you capturing their personality
Exactly. So
and their brand could
exactly.
help sell their service.
Yeah. So to answer your question, it's more of like a personality. If they want to come with me, it's my job to go in there and be like, what do you have that's unique about you that we can showcase online? If it's just a jewelry, cool, I can make you jewelry videos. But do you have a personality? Because people like to buy from
a
people,
brand. Yeah.
right? People like to buy from people, or if there's high luxury stuff, they want to buy from a reputable brand. Now, showcasing that reputable brand in a very,
Luxurious,
high quality, luxurious setting, or making luxurious content with that stuff and that being the focus, that would set you apart from the other people in the mall. And then everybody else in the mall is going to be like, I want to do what that guy's doing.
Yeah.
And a good point about jewelry in general, in New York City, there's the Diamond District. And I don't know if you've ever been, but
We heard about it.
when you walk down there, it's shops. And every single shop for a whole block, or multiple blocks actually, is jewelry. So how do you stand out in that crowd?
Policies,
There's
refund policies.
yeah, like but there's personalities. There's this one guy that's famous out of all of them in New York City. His name is called Trax NYC. And he's just a guy who came from nothing. He opened his jewelry shop by selling something on eBay. He took pictures of the jewelry in the window and then went and sold it on eBay. It was like, I can make money. And then he became an internet personality. And he goes to New York and he does things like, sir, guess the weight of this gold. And he'll give you a full like brick of gold. And somebody's like $600,000. And he's like, here's 4 ounces of solid silver. There you go. I'm not playing around. It's Trax NYC. Come see me here at the jewelry district.
So he gets people's attention.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like
exactly.
that. I believe you have to set your apart some way. Whether it might not be through like what you're selling, but it could be like through the service or the experience you provide. So
And there's different ways to highlight that. And most of the times I always recommend it's highlight it through a personality.
Yeah.
Find somebody.
And automatically, because I know this, I immediately think of Bobby and Eric Franco.
Yeah.
Their personalities.
Yeah,
And so that's what you're helping leverage.
Exactly.
Their natural personality. And that's why I go back and watch them. Even just as their friend and just as someone who wants to be entertained
Yeah.
at any given day. It's like I know Bobby's gonna say everything and anything and do anything.
Oh, you should be on the lookout for the ones that we got coming up.
Look, there you go.
We got some funny ones coming up.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the name of the game in today's modern social media, is leveraging, I guess, a personality or a personal brand? I don't know. Take us through that.
Yeah, no, I think it is. People watch people to be people watch social media to be entertained, right? It's either you're going to provide value in the form of it's edutainment, but education or entertainment, right? Edutainment. And a lot of these people that are getting big now are or making a lot of money, or turning businesses from their personalities, are people that started with small channels. Think Mr. Beast. It was just him doing literally saying one word a million times or something. You know what I mean? Or saying a number, or counting to 100,000 or a million or something like that. But then it turned into a personality. There's a girl that it's referenced a lot in the content that I watch called Emma Chamberlain. She had her own personality. She liked coffee. She integrated coffee and then she started a coffee company. And now she's monetized like that. Yeah. Think the Paul brothers, Jake Paul and what's the other guy's name? Logan Paul, yeah. They made a podcast. They do all these things. They made Prime Energy drink. So we're in a time where you can go from being nobody, hitting the record button for a consistent amount of time, building a following, and then monetizing that following. And you can see it in the evil way as, I just want to extract every dollar from every single eyeball. Or you can see it as like, I've got a lot of eyeballs, I've got a lot of responsibility. What product can I provide to them and the people that they may influence that will make their lives a little bit better?
Yeah.
So you can do anything. Like,
yeah, I've been thinking about that too lately. Like, how am I adding value through my videos? Probably not. I'm not the best cook. I tell Josh this all the time, and he's like, babe, you are a great cook. Why do you like downplay like what you can do?
Yeah.
But I guess also I'm very humble to knowing like I like have read recipes over recipes, and I've practiced and like messed up on rice and then re-practice and stuff. So I feel like I maybe I don't give myself enough credit, but it's took me a long time to like even cook anything.
Well, the biggest thing I think of is what we're talking about right now is your personal branding, your personality. Is that people are going to watch you for you. They're going to see this attractive woman and see how humble she is and how cool she is and how interesting, you know, she is for who she is. And that's why they're going to want to watch you, and that's why they're going to want to come back.
They have 100 million different options of people that they can watch make an omelet. There's going to be a bunch of people that be like, I want to watch her make an omelet because I like just the way that she is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People can watch 100 Let's Play games of video games, watch people play video games, but they will pick one person because they like the way that person is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a reason why the follower on Twitch now, he has rappers over. He has Kevin Hart over all the time.
Oh, Kai,
yeah.
Kai's something like that.
Why do people watch him? For his personality. Does he really provide any kind of value at all? No, it's entertainment. Yeah. And now he's rubbing shoulders with celebrities. He's got massive brand deals, and it would have never happened if he didn't hit the damn record button.
That's
if
true.
he didn't hit the damn record button.
He's talking to himself.
Yeah, I'm talking to myself too, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. Entertainment. And then I'm going backwards, but also earlier you mentioned the service we provide or a personality. I believe that too, because where I got my nails done all the time, now I get them done here just like down the street because it's closer and I have a baby here at home. But I love Q Nails in Portland, and I love that.
It's a far drive too.
It's a far drive, but before we had Penelope, all the way till I was like 9 months pregnant, we were still making that commute every month just to go get my nails done, my toes done, because I love the experience you get there. Also, the owner, Henry Ho, he has like a policy. It's like if you're not happy before you walk out the door, he'll have someone redo your whole nails.
Really?
Yeah, like he makes sure you're very happy with the service you got, and it says it like before you walk out. Were you happy with the service you got? If not, like let them know. But even before you walk out, one of the girls or himself will ask you, "Are you happy? Like how is everything?" And
I like that.
I like that because every other nail company I've ever been to here in Corpus, they don't ask you. Like they probably don't even care if you're happy. Just pay me. I did the service, pay me.
Yeah.
But over there, they make you feel like they really care. And
Customer
I like that.
experience.
Yeah.
That consumer experience is huge.
Yeah.
In every company or everything that I've worked for, that was the biggest thing that they always pushed. Even to this day, even where I'm at right now, in a healthcare setting, it's still the patient experience. And so I guess the question that we have for you is, how do you incorporate the customer or consumer experience when you're working closely with these folks?
Honestly, it's just being personable.
Gotcha.
That can be taught, but it's not often like just a trait that most people have. You have to have some. I think it just has to be like deep in your personality to be sort of a people person, without being a psychopath and like turning it on and switching it for every different person. But just being a personable, normal human to the business owner that you're working with, or to the business owner that I'm working with, does volumes when it comes to making them feel like they've had a good experience. And then you also have to find out what the client values most, right? Like if they like data and analytics, then you have to be a data and analytics person. If the person just wants to be told that they're doing an amazing job every video, you tell them that they do an amazing job every video. But you just kind of just cater any company would do to any of their other, or any service provider would. Just try to be personable, try to make the person feel like they're friends or family. And I think that does way more than being extra, overly salesman-y or professional, in a setting. I think, again, people want to buy from people, normal people. So the more normal you can be and personal you can be, the better.
I always think back to when I was either being sold on, or I went to go buy something or purchase something or acquire the service, and I always thought about, okay, well, I know I wanted this thing, for example, a car. I know I want the car, but how is this person talking to me? How are they speaking to me? Are they speaking to me respectfully? Are they trying to inform me and learn all these things? That's what I'm thinking about. And if it's starting to get really trashy very quickly, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go to your neighbor, and I'm going to see if they provide a little bit more of a pleasant experience.
Yeah, that's the thing that you just said, the experience, which is why you went to the nail salon experience. Right now, I mean, that's not something, that's more internal company stuff, and it's just like who you hire. Like, like it's who you hire. It's right. It's who the business owner hires and chooses to be that front person that's interacting with customers that want to go buy stuff. So.
When you say data analytics person, do you mean like they want to know if your service is providing them like traffic? Okay, because I swear I used to tell Josh, because we would do photography, right? And he'd come home and like share his experience with me and how he feels like it may benefit someone, but they may not see the value in it. And I tell him, well, is there any way we can like see the traffic that they're gaining from this type of like work? And he's like, well, no, I think that has to be something they'd like purchase, because like where I get my nails done now, and a lot of these like beauty companies, they have like an iPad. Every time you go in for a service, you have to like put in your phone number, and they track every person who walks in. Versus someone signing a little log because you may forget to sign it and stuff like that. But I was telling him, well, it'd be good if these companies that may need work from him or you would have that type of iPad, because and it would ask them like a little survey when after they type in their phone number, like, how did you hear about us? And then it would be like a video or something like that, and that way they could track the traffic. Because otherwise they're not going to know. But I feel like video work and photos really do bring in people. I mean, high quality stuff. I feel like it really can bring in people, but the owners or the business people or the people hiring y'all are never going to know unless they're tracking it.
And that's where like advertising comes into big play, because I could make for instance, I'm working with a car wash right now, and I made some really cool videos for them, but there's no way to track what those videos do. Now that I'm advertising for him and running his ads, we have specific analytics that we can look at to where these members are coming from. And if we're giving an offer, so like any business, if we make an amazing video, we shoot a couple photos, we run a few ads out on Facebook and Instagram with an exclusive offer,
I like that
they can redeem, then you know that, oh, all of these people that came in with this redemption are from that direct ad.
Exactly.
And then it's trackable.
Smart.
Then it's measurable.
Yes, I like that. The only thing that I was trying to think of, like, okay, well, that offer can't be forever because they're going to continue to come in and use it and use it and use it. So it has to be like for a very limited time, like for 1 week or
Creates
for
a
2
sense
days.
of urgency.
Yeah. So I've thought of that too.
Yeah.
I think of like all the places I go, and then I come home and I'm like, okay, how can I add that to what we're doing? Or like,
Yeah.
Well, that's what I do with Whataburger, right? They have those little coupons every now
Yeah.
and then. And I'm like, used by 1/31, 2025. I'm like, damn, I gotta get there quick.
Set an alarm
because
for cheat day.
in these videos, if they're not like being published all the time or whatever, it could be like, come in today and get $5 off your haircut,
Yeah.
or whatever it is. And if they go in that day and they're like, can I get $5 off my haircut? I saw this ad, but it has to be like only for today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But going back to personality, because I just can't get away from that topic. It's so fascinating to me.
Yeah.
It's like any service at this point in modern society and social media, it's like, I don't want to see your service unless you have a personality behind it. Like, I'm at that point where it's just like, I'm gonna pick a bone right now with barbers because I've been in that industry helping them.
I remember, yeah.
And every day I would say, do not post another haircut, please.
Yeah.
No one cares about that. The only other people who care about that is your other barber friend. And they're not giving you money.
Yeah.
The consumer is the person who needs a haircut. And the only way that I would, as a consumer, ever be attracted to you in today's society is if I knew who you were, if you were funny, if you were educational, if it's just somebody I said, hey, I want to go get a haircut with that guy,
You know
or
what's
that girl.
Crazy about that. There's viral barbers right now on TikTok and Instagram. If you start to follow and engage, your algorithm will pick it up and it'll start showing you more of that stuff. But when I engaged with it for a little bit, there are barbers that come and they like do these, oh, what do you got for me today? And they're like, oh, I drove I don't know, 24 hours to come see you. Okay, well, what do you need today? Well, I saw your videos and I want to, I like how you cut your hair and I like who you are, so I want to get my hair cut with you. And then the barber will be like, okay, well, it's just going to be $250 for today, which is a normal like $40 haircut. Are you okay with that investment? And they're always like, sure, let's get you started. And then the video starts.
Yes.
And what's crazy about what some of those barbers do is they tell you their price in the video. So you know what to expect when you go there. And they just, by making content, being a personality, being personable and educational, they just went from making what every other barber makes to making double, triple, quadruple what the barber makes just from posting.
Yes, exactly.
Personality.
Personality. I don't want to see another head with just music on it and that's it, because it does nothing for me as a consumer. And who are they trying to market to? Consumers, to go get a haircut. And so, but you can, and I'm sorry to pick on you guys, but I did anyways. But you can really translate that into any service-based industry.
Yeah.
Is, hey, leverage what's interesting, unique, educational, entertaining, and really just push that out there.
Yeah, I mean, for instance, there's tons of fitness personalities out there, right? But there are a group of people that resonate with a certain personality versus another certain personality. Like I'm working with Eric, we're trying to create him, more of a personality, and we're starting to niche down more of like fit dad, more of like fit personality, family dad, exercising, versus I do all these things, or look at me deadlift 178 pounds over my head, something crazy like that. Where it's really about niching down to your community, having that personality, and then those people that resonate with you are going to buy from you.
That makes sense. So actually it's perfect, I guess, way for you to help me is I'm actually trying to do that in this fat loss thing I'm doing, which is, I realize is that now that I have a family, we have a 4-month-old baby girl. I want to start to market to other dads out there who have a young child or even several kids and a wife, to say, hey, this is how easy you can make, fat loss and losing a couple pounds for your health, for just how you feel better, the way you look, et cetera, et cetera. So kind of take me through, how would you encourage me from a social media standpoint and putting my content out there on how would you strategize and push that
before we even get on like any kind of content strategy or what type of stuff you would need to post, you need to define what your goal is. What are you trying to do this to just help people, or are you trying to sell something and make money?
Yes.
Like that's what you got to figure out first. Okay, so we got to figure out the bottom end of the funnel, and then everything else we stack on top. The funnel at the bottom is how do we get the person to buy from you because they resonate with you, and everything that you've done up until that point where they're at the buy page, like we need to know what you're selling. So once you find what you're selling, a course, an ebook, a diet, a workout program, whatever the heck it is, figure that out first, or experiment while you're doing it, and then start making content from that point upwards.
That makes sense.
And then but you would also you already have your avatar, right? So you have your avatar, you find what you need, and in between there, you just start making content for that guy. Hey man, I know you're really tired. So wake up, like let's say one day you wake up, you're like, I've only had 4 hours of sleep, my baby's crying, my wife is mad at me, I gotta go to work, and I've gotta eat only this many calories, and I still gotta get my workout in.
I love that.
How am I gonna do this?
Yeah.
Then you do it, and then you say, hey guys, are you a dad that blah, 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 this is how I got through my day. And you can make content, how I got through my day with an angry wife, an angry baby, hungry, you know what I mean? Like, let's just say y'all, like, I'm not saying that y'all like fight or anything like that. Everybody goes through shit, but I'm just saying like, that'll resonate with somebody in that moment that's like, God, I just had to fight with my wife and I still got to work out and my baby's crying. Like, and they're like, let me just take a break, and they're scrolling and they see you and they're like, oh, he offers a program? No way. You know, it's only $25. Cool. And then 1,000 people do that. There you go.
Yeah. No, I like that.
$250,000.
And you'll help people get there. So like exactly what you just walked us through. If someone reached out to you and they're like, how can I grow my business, or how can I get to whatever point they're trying to get to, you'll help them get there by like starting exactly what you said, step 1, step 2.
Really defining their offer. And that's where like I wanted to change from media, is because like nobody would know that I do that if I just like, I'm the guy with the camera. Right? It's usually I show up with the camera, I'm like, well, how is this affecting your business? And that's where we really dive into it. What I'm having trouble with right now is figuring out how to get this epiphany that we just had, like, oh, you do that for people. How do I package that and sell that? And the only way I can is by doing what I'm telling people to do. Make content about it. Which
that's what you're doing.
That's what I'm doing right now. And that's what I plan to do for the foreseeable future, because we're not going backwards. You know what I mean? Unless a catastrophe happens. It's only going to get even easier and more accessible to post yourself online. There are already cameras everywhere, and you honestly don't need a crazy high quality camera. The one in your pocket is perfectly fine. You just got to do it at the end of the day.
So that's a perfect segue of basically what we're saying is that everyone has access to it, everyone can do it, and everyone is doing it. So now my question to you is, how do you in such a saturated market or with everyone doing it, how does one who is just a personal brand or even a business start to say they want to start tomorrow? How would they start even figuring out how to separate themselves? Or is it not even a matter of that? It's just more of, can I just start to produce at a persistent rate, and then eventually something will crack? You
hit the nail on the head. It's all about persistence and consistency, and there are a few out there that just don't have it, right? Like, you can try, but you don't have it. But for somebody that wants to come up and be like, there's so many people and the market's so saturated. We're in a really big world with a lot of people, and a lot of people want to buy things from different variations of things. Like, for instance, let's just pick on barbers again. How many barbershops are in Corpus?
More.
How many barbershops are in Texas? All of the ones that ever opened and had that ribbon cutting, they didn't let there's 5 around me, I'm not going to do it. How many, I was filming at Bobby's, I literally had this epiphany today. I'm sitting there and I'm like, I was thinking about my business, like, I have an advertising agency, like, but there's a lot and people can choose from them. And I'm like sitting in a car lot, across the street from a car lot, on a street with multiple car lots. And I'm like, the abundance is there. We inherently are in an abundant society, at least living in the US. We live in abundance. There's everything everywhere all the time. And it's just being persistent and consistent for long enough to start to see stuff. That's one of the things that I've got to bring a reality check to most of my clients too, is like, you're not going to see something in a month. You might not see something in 3 or 6 months. You might have to give it a year, and then you'll start to pop off. And you might not see it for a long time. And I was actually explaining this to my mom in a different way, because she's going through kind of a weight loss journey. I was like, you're going to start here, and your goal is up here. But it's not a straight shot. You have to go, there's that little dip of discomfort, and you're going to feel like you're going nowhere, and you're going to feel like you're just doing it monotonously. Like you're not getting to your goal.
She's probably going to wonder, like, what's the purpose?
Exactly.
I want to give up.
And there've be people posting, like, doing that. Like, you might hit a point in your YouTube journey where you're like, I'm stuck at like 100 views. Like, and you might get there, you might do that 50 times in a row and be like, 50 views. And then one video goes viral and you get 2 million, and all of those go from 500 views to 500,000 views because they saw one video that went viral and they were like, I want to watch all of them now.
Yeah.
So being consistent over time is the name of the game.
Yeah, and I don't let other people discourage me. I told Josh this because I've come across like things on Facebook where it says like there are so many companies who sell bread, right? At HEB. Like, I'm sure you've seen it before because it pops up kind of like often, right? And I'm like, but it's true, and there's so many people who record themselves and post content and all this stuff, but like, I don't care what they do because they're selling a certain product or service or personality that I'm not. And I'm just being me, and it's about my family, and if someone views it, they do, but if they don't, who cares? I feel like at the end of the day, I'm still capturing memories with my family. That's why me posting content on YouTube and stuff, I don't let it discourage me because I know there are multiple people out there who record. I mean, I look up to a few YouTubers myself, but I guess the reason why I don't let it discourage me is because I feel like we all have different personalities and we're all selling different services or products, and at the end of the day, if this didn't take me anywhere personally, I don't care, because at the end of the day, I'm still recording memories with my family. But I do hope that I can get better at editing and better at speaking like to the camera, because sometimes I look at the camera and I get shy and then I forget what I want to say.
That's all of us.
Literally everybody that's ever been in front of a camera,
But
except for maybe Bobby Moore. He's a
natural.
He's a natural.
Yeah.
But Josh has been like my best like coach, mentor to all of this, because when I met him, like, I was just who I am. I love learning stuff, but he's the one who would like teach me like, okay, this is how you do this, and no, like you speak very well, just don't like pretend the camera is not here. And he would like, I can talk about one thing and then I get like completely distracted and I start talking about another thing. He'd be like, just focus, like this is what we're talking about.
Stay on topic.
Yeah, stay on topic. But he's like taught me a lot, and I get so happy like talking about it, because I feel like where I am at today with like YouTube and stuff is all because of him.
A plot twist, I learned it from this guy. So we had moments where I was in that room with him and he was coaching me.
Oh yeah, we used to sit there and he'd say, in that room, it was a studio, and we'd sit there and he'd be like, these are the ways that you're gonna, and I'd be like, okay, I stop. We're not a robot. Okay, and then I would literally stand in front of him and be like, tell me, like, here's a fake beer. Tell me what you're about to say. And he's like, well, man, I was like, good. You see how you just said it? You didn't say, here are the reasons of like, people would think like you're crazy. Yeah, and
I'm still a robot, by the way.
Yeah, he's still a robot sometimes, but yeah, it's a lot of coaching. It takes time. Nobody's ever going to be comfortable in front of the camera.
How many times have you seen that with your clients?
Every single client.
Wait, like a little bit of shyness?
Everybody gets shyness. I filmed my first like little ad today, and I've been doing this for a year, or more than over a year. I've been behind the camera, more than a year, almost 2 years, and the camera was put on me, and I froze. I didn't know what to say. I was like, what do I say? I had to ask Bobby. I was like, what do I say? He's like, you do this for a living, and I'm like, what do I say? I still didn't know.
I think it's just
your brain shuts off.
Yeah, it's like something that happens naturally to all of us.
For people creating content, one of the biggest things that I tell them is like, if you're going to create content with your phone like this, practice by FaceTiming somebody, one of your friends, like, because a lot of the times, at least on TikTok, when you post something like that that's personable, like, people watch it because it's like you're FaceTiming your friend. So FaceTime your friend, practice what you're going to say, okay, bye, hang up on them, and then hit record and do the exact same thing.
Yeah, and like, I like how you just said it's personable, because when I was starting our first few videos here at home, I would like not stutter, but I would I'm myself. So I'd be like, Coco, come here. And then like a couple of minutes later, I'd be like, Coco, come here.
You're like,
and I'd want to like, I'd want to like edit one out because I feel like I'm saying the same thing multiple times. But now, this day, I don't even care about editing it out. Like that's who I am. And if I say her name like 5 times in 1 minute, like that's who I am.
So naturally, inside, you're kind of inhibiting who you really are for whatever reason.
In the beginning,
Fear
I
of
wanted
judgment.
to edit it out. Like I felt like that's so weird to be calling your dog like 5 times in like 2 minutes. But then it's like, well, you're not even showing the world who you really are. Like, why are you editing that out?
It's your inner demon judging yourself, man. You gotta let that go. That's one of the things that I've come to a conclusion recently too. Is I made a random just ghost TikTok account and I started posting they call it shit posting. I just started shit posting. Whatever was on my mind, I started doing it. And I got a lot of likes and I got a lot of views and I got some comments and I'm like, people will resonate with you no matter what you post.
That's true.
Right? And the only person critiquing you when you're thinking about posting or hitting is yourself.
Yeah.
And you just got to let that go, which is easier said than done. But it's broken through consistency. The more consistent you are with it, the more you start to have the realizations where I don't care anymore.
Like this is
who I am, which
if
is
people like it, they do, and if they don't, they
when
don't.
you were saying you were making the YouTube videos and you would go off topic and like, you know, he's like, stay on topic. You can make vlogs of just yourself doing your makeup or something like that, and people will watch you because of your personality and the fact that you're like, I love that you talk about 10 different things in 10 minutes versus one thing in 1 minute.
Or like calling your dog like 5 times in 10 different ways.
There's that one girl on YouTube who does the makeup mystery. Anastasia would watch it, and I got kind of hooked because of her personality.
Oh, but she talks about like
her name
mysteries,
is
right?
Bailey Syrian.
I didn't know
she
her
does
name,
her
but I've
makeup.
seen it. Yeah.
While she's doing her makeup, she talks about murder mysteries, and her personality is really funny. For some guys or other people, they may not like it, but I thought it was funny. And I thought it's good to listen to the stories.
Josh told me, babe, be prepared. He's like, I don't care like what you post and what you want to record. I'm here for it, right? If you want me to be involved or not, I don't care. And then he would show me how to do it. But he would tell me in the beginning, but just don't let negative comments like deter me away, because he said they're gonna come and it may be other girls who are talking on like the comment section about why did you said certain things or how you look funny or whatever, and he's like, but just don't let that get to you.
It's funny because a year ago I was posting a lot of content that looked somewhat similar to Andrew Tate, and then I had a comment under one of my videos that said, man, this is a fucking like a Walmart version of Andrew Tate. Like, they really hammered me.
They come for you?
Yeah, they came for me. But it was funny because it's like, hey, number one, it made me feel a little bit like, damn, I suck. But it got attention, right?
Yeah.
And it was relevant to whatever was hot at the time, you know? So the point there is that you are going to have a lot of those, people having their own opinions. And they might not always be positive. So that's where that thick skin has to be developed. And go ahead.
To your point about like people judging you and stuff, always keep in mind that the people that you look up to on YouTube, the people that you look up to as dietitians, they will probably never hate on you for posting. It's always the people that aren't posting or that want to post and envy you for posting that are going to talk crap and put mean comments in there.
Yeah,
good way to put it.
And you're right, because the YouTubers I look up to, they were on the podcast, and they were just like giving advice and stuff, and they're like that they stay true to who they are, and it's all about consistency, and they kind of like gave like different pointers, and they mentioned how hard it is. Like that people think it's easy, and that they try posting on a like schedule that they have set for themselves, but
Can get
it's really
exhausting.
hard work. And so I can imagine that they would never like talk bad about anyone trying to like climb up that ladder, because they know how hard it is to get there. Yeah.
So let's wrap up this thing. Where can people find you if they want to hit you up for video, for advertisement, all things coaching related to that?
You can go to my Instagram or Facebook, same name, Ovrcome Media, no first E, so OVRCOME Media. Eventually it's going to turn into agency or group or company.
Awesome.
Because or marketing, one or the other. Haven't decided yet. I actually put it into AI and it gave me a whole list, and we'll be having that conversation later on. But yeah, Instagram or Facebook right now.
And then last question.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 through 10, how much do you love dogs?
I would say 10. I love dogs more than humans.
Oh, cool.
I really do.
How many dogs do you have?
4.
4.
And 1 in heaven.
Look at that. Next episode. See you then.